Hi there, everyone. Thank you to Jennifer and also to Holly and to Curtis for the invitation to come today and speak to you a little bit about INEX. We are the interconnection point for the island of Ireland. I am the CEO Eileen Gallagher, and I will use the clicker. So we are, a quarter of a century ago was the last time I spoke at a LINX meeting. That makes me two things. One, very resilient in this industry, but also significantly old. So I think there's a few that I see here. I believe that we're probably at that Peterborough 5th birthday. I only come for anniversaries. I was here for the 25th, here for the 30th, and I was around for the 5th. And for many other years, right at the beginning of LINX, when I was doing some work with them from 1996. So I see Keith down there, Nigel, and also Graham. I'm not sure if anyone else. Oh, were you at the 5th, John? And John was there. I'm not sure who else was there, but that makes 5 of us in the room that were around back then. So yes, I'm resilient in this industry. The INEX team is quite a small team. So missing from this photo is Roisin King. Roisin is just back from maternity leave. And also obvious by its absence from this is the fabulous IXP manager, which is our secret sauce that we use at the exchange. You'll know some of the team from there, those of you who attend various events or come to INEX events. Those of you who haven't or don't, you're always very welcome. I'm not sure how clear the photo is there. So there's 8 of us in total. I am the only full-time employee of the organization, and we run the organization very much as a lean organization that uses automation and simplifying processes anywhere we can. But that said, the organization, and the IXP is very much built on resilience and robustness. I don't know if it was Anne who talked earlier on about ISO 27001, but we're also recently, last year, certified in that and also moving to the 2022 standard, hopefully in early December. We have 6 physical POPs in Ireland, but we serve 7 in Dublin, but we serve 7 data centres, and those are in the most densely populated DCs in the Greater Dublin area. If you connect at one, you can peer at all of them. We've 110 members and just over 8 terabits of connected capacity. A lot of the large networks are there, most of the large networks are there, but also we have about 99% of the eyeballs on the island of Ireland. So if it is that you wish to connect to eyeballs in Ireland, INEX is the place. We're the most hyper-interconnected point on the island. We also, this is a bit of an odd one when we mention it, but we're also probably the greatest place to find eyeballs on the island of Iceland. And we're going to try and find other countries that end in land and put cables to them as well. This is because of the Iris cable, which came about last year. And as soon as that actually went live, within a day of that cable going live, we actually had 3 applications from Icelandic members. So the first 3 there, Reykjavik Fiber, Mila and Nova, have joined us. And also we have Nordinet coming to INEX over that cable. So if you want eyeballs on the islands of Ireland or Iceland, please come to us. We do have 1 regional POP, which is in Cork, and that is the landing point for the EXA Express cable. I think there are some in the room, Paul from Akamai, and some others are actually connected to that POP for INEX. The INEX POP in Cork and the INEX POPs in Dublin are not connected. But the INEX POPs in Dublin we run our own network between them. But we also, similar to LINX with LAN1 and LAN2, we actually have 2 networks in Ireland as well. We have LAN1 and LAN2. And those are completely separate networks that we run. And in many ways, that provides for us to be the first and second internet exchange in the country. So it provides significant resilience to INEX members. Also Ireland, and many of you will know this already, it is a location for a lot of the large cloud. For AWS, the EU West 1 is there, Azure North Europe, and also Google. And because it is obviously within the EU, it is a large place for data at rest. So any of you who read any Irish media will see there's a lot of discussion around data centres in Ireland and building of new ones. There are a significant amount of global multinationals who have very large data centres there. Part of what we are very, very proud of, I guess, is our INEX for Good work. INEX is, I mentioned earlier on that IXP Manager is our secret sauce. IXP Manager is a platform that was originally developed for INEX to run its own organization efficiently and run the Internet Exchange efficiently. In 2010, I believe it was, we actually open sourced that. So it now runs its power imperium at over 230 IXPs around the world. So they are using the IXP Manager platform, which continues to be developed. V7 is coming out in about 2 weeks, we hope. And this really works to implement and teach best practice in running Internet Exchange Point. For us, it is the difference between having 4 engineers working on INEX on a part-time basis through contractors and us having to have many, many more. So it really automates processes, it makes things resilient, and we're very proud of the fact that that is, at this stage, just over 7,100 unique networks are connected to IXP Manager platforms around the world, which we're extraordinarily proud of as a team. Overall, INEX is involved in various different organizations around the world. We're involved in the EuroIX. I'm a member of the board. We've been involved in the audit committee and also the FPC at times. We've assisted EuroIX, ICANN, the IETF to come and bring their communities to Dublin. I also forgot to add on here that Nick Hilliard is on the Manners Steering Committee. And we also host members meetings, and I know a lot of faces in this room have been at many INEX meetings and INEX social events that follow INEX meetings over the years, and you're all obviously very welcome. A lot of our local INEX members would not go to the large international events. They wouldn't attend RIPE or the IETF or ICANN. And what we try to do through those meetings is actually bring the experts that we see internationally to Ireland and have them talk and bring their content and their clue to our community in Ireland as well. And we also in 2022 launched the OLIS program, it's an Irish word which means learning. And OLIS stands for the Exchange of Learning and Skills. And this is a program which we developed to really, for INEX, either to buy in training expertise or to facilitate it through the wider community we have, to bring them to teach our engineers, or even most recently, some of the marketing people in the industry about various skills that they could get. Again, if anyone here wants to bring anything they have to INEX, then I'm very happy to put you in contact with Patricia, who's our head of marketing. One thing that is interesting about Ireland, obviously it's an island, so the only way to get there really, unless it's through satellite or deep space, as Vint was on about, is the subsea fibres. Over the past 10 years, which is the group there in the top, we've had a huge number for Ireland of subsea cables. We're also, interestingly, through the bottom right-hand corner of Ireland in a little island called Valentia, the first landing spot was Ireland for the first ever transatlantic subsea cable, which came in the late 1850s. So that one was landed there, and it was the first cable that actually went across the Atlantic. So we're making great headway now to actually bring in more content over these cables. And again, this facilitates some of the data at rest installations that exist in Ireland. As you can see, we're not stopped yet. We have 3 cables currently planned for Ireland. The Beaufort cable, which is going to go between the UK and Ireland. The Pisces, which will take us to Portugal for the first time. And also then after that to Spain and to France. And then an interesting one is the Far North cable. And the Far North cable is due to go live in 2027 currently. And this is an interesting one which goes from the very, very tip top of Norway, very close to Finland. Will come to Ireland, to Galway on the west coast, and then go up through the Northwest Passage, up through the Canadian archipelago, and then all the way down to 2 landing spots in Japan. This is very interesting because it is a new way of doing things. There's another cable which won't come to Ireland, which is going to go under the ice cap in the North Pole. But this is an interesting one. So in 2027, we hope that that will bring a different dynamic to the content and to the data that actually either ends up residing in Ireland at rest, or that perhaps transits through Ireland and goes on to the UK and the rest of Europe. So this is a major project. It's been talked about now for, certainly I've been hearing about it for 12 years or so, but we expect this to be the one that actually happens. It's been talked about a number of times. A closer view of this, and again, this is really just to to focus on the fact that the island of Ireland is much more connected than it was. 10 years ago, it's been a massive jump in cables that are coming through. I'm from between the top two cables here on the top left of the country in Mayo, and very proud of those. The AEC1 cable there, which comes off at about 10 o'clock on the map. The AEC1 cable was the first of this new suite of cables that were transatlantic. And then Galway got in on the act, and there's two coming there. And also the Far North cable will also land there. So we're delighted with all of this. In recent days, you may have seen in the media, we had some unexpected and perhaps unwanted visitors on a ship who were moving their way up and down through the Irish Sea, but also over some of both the telecommunications cables, but also the gas main line, the gas pipe from the UK to Ireland. They were escorted out of Irish territorial waters by the LE James Joyce, which is one of our very few ships in the Irish Navy, and also they had some regular visits from aircraft from the American Air Force and the British Air Force. So they were well-minded while they were there. We were delighted they visited, and we're delighted they left. After the subsea cuts up in Scandinavia the past few days, we hope that they left no presents behind. We like presents, but not anything like that. So this is where we're at the moment. We announced today to our members the 2025 pricing. Again, what I mentioned at the beginning is we're a small team. We run very much an organization that is focused on delivering a resilient and robust network and an interconnection network. We don't do a lot of the stuff that LINX does in relation to regulation, and that we have no involvement there. So our focus is very much on the community and on the interconnection. So this is our 2025 pricing. This is on the presentation that is in the, will be on the LINX website, I guess. And again, we focus there to try and give the best value to members. We run on a cost recovery basis. So this reflects what we need to run the organisation. We have just over $1 million of turnover every year at INEX, and that's all we need to run the organisation. So we run it in a very lean way and really just try and get the best value we can for members. I want to say happy anniversary to LINX. As I said, this is my third anniversary event with them. The first one had a very, very bad purple cake, if I remember correctly, up in Peterborough, because the colour was wrong. I don't think anyone ate it because it was very scary looking. Very much enjoyed the 25th anniversary here a few years ago. And also I want to, I don't know where he is, where Curtis is, pay tribute. Oh, he's hiding behind the camera. Pay tribute to Curtis. Curtis has been an enormously brilliant friend to INEX over the years and to me professionally. He is a leading light in the EuroAX community as well. And Monday, we were delighted to wish him well as he goes off into the name world. He is a very resilient person to actually go to when you're in the IXP community, and continues to inspire us. So I hope he doesn't go too far, and glad that he's staying in Europe, so we might see him more regularly. That's Curtis running out the door away from me. So we wish you well at ICANN, and also to add to that, we wish Jennifer, we were thrilled at INEX to hear Jennifer is the new CEO and an excellent choice by the board of LINX. So well done for that. And we're very much looking forward to working with Jennifer from INEX over the next number of years, or the 35th anniversary, whichever comes first. So that's it from me pretty much, but I will just highlight the events that we've coming up. We have the OLIS events, which is our training events in early December on the 10th and the 11th, and that is followed then by the INEX meeting on December 12th. We have a social event after that, and then in March, our March meeting is on the 20th of March. You're all very, very welcome to that. We do open the doors to pretty much anyone at least once, and you get invited back. So thank you all very much, and again, thank you, Jennifer, and especially to Holly, who was extraordinarily patient with me providing my presentation. So thank you all.
Thank you, Eileen. Any questions for Eileen? Normally when we get a subsea cable map, there's questions.
Slightly terrified of a subsea question, but there you go.
It's not about subsea stuff. As regards the expansion into Cork, is that the limit of your regional activity, or are you planning one for Waterford, or are you going to ultimately connect them all up and make the island totally interconnected, or?
I see Tom behind you. I think might choke you quite soon. The answer is we don't know. So we will go anywhere that there is a clear business case. And when I say business case, as in, cost recovery, or where there is a specific need that we can deliver. Ireland it's a small country. About a third of the people live in the greater Dublin area for a start. Cork was the one city that we saw where there was actually probably a grouping of networks that might use an internet exchange point. There really is nowhere else. So Belfast, we're still in a situation where Belfast is a lot of the traffic either goes to Dublin and it sort of originates in a way in Dublin, or it goes back to the UK. So within Northern Ireland, there isn't really a place. And then the other cities would be Limerick or Galway. And again, Galway, when the subsea cable comes from the Far East, that may make a difference, but there isn't really a lot of traffic broken out outside of Dublin. So that is where the vast majority is broken out. Cork is the exception, and really that cable is because of the IXPs coming in as well. Or sorry, that POP is because of the IXPs. In relation to connecting them, right now we have no plans to do that. Things change. We may look at it, but if we look at it, it will be directly related to whether or not there is a business case for doing it, or whether or not it delivers significant benefit to some members. Tom is shaking his head vigorously behind you.
He's asked the same question about Links Manchester at least once.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know the backstory. I need a crib sheet, Jennifer. Can I have a crib sheet?
Keeps traffic parochial, I think, was a phrase that we used a few times, and I think that applies here as well. But my opinion.
Oh, you don't have a question. Is that it? Again, thank you all. Delighted to be here.
Fantastic. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.